Yeah, well, you seem like a pretty good criminal today, didn't you?
Daddy's home.
Hey, what's going on, Internet? Josh Noel from Film. I wanted to create this video to talk about directing, and this is something new that I'm doing for my channel, where I talk about filmmaking and just talk about in front of a camera, and maybe I'm thinking about doing some interviews with other filmmakers and actors. But in this video, I want to start off by talking about directing, my tips from my experiences and kind of how I go about directing and what I think it takes to be do your best at being a director. So my first tip is casting. Perhaps the most important thing to directing is casting, and once you're past casting, you're pretty much 80 to 90% done. So casting is pretty much everything. You want to find an actor or an actress that's perfect for your character, because if you can find the right person, you pretty much don't have to give them so much direction on set. They can easily just fall right into that character, right into that role without a problem. So really, it's about finding the right people, and if you find the right person for their job, they're going to excel at that position, that character, the best they can. So keep in mind, casting is one of the most important things to directing. It really will make or break your directing performance, and you want to find the best person for the job. One thing that I do, days or even weeks in advance before the shoot, is I always let my actors know who their character is. So, I describe a little bit of background history on the character, exactly who's this person, any type of feelings or anything this person's supposed to be, because that really helps the actor understand the natural movements, how they're supposed to act on camera. So if one of your characters is a serial killer, you maybe want to describe it as, he had a rough childhood, beat as a kid, kind of little things like that. It helps a lot, kind of helps your actors understand who that character is and where they come from, and helping them understand how that character is supposed to feel in each scene of your film. One thing I've learned through the years of filmmaking is that you shouldn't exactly over-direct. I think a lot of actors like to have their own time to kind of get into the character on set, and they don't really want to be micromanaged. If you did a good job on casting, you definitely do not need to over-direct. Your actor is the one that's making your character come alive, and you don't want to pressure them and doing too much, and if you over-direct them, they will be trying to remember too many things that they don't need to remember, and they're going to end up hurting another area of their performance. So try to not over-direct, and give your actor some space to get into character. Something I've really learned, and it definitely helps is, really for me, how I direct is I will point into which direction my actors are supposed to walk or interact with objects. But as far as actual direction goes, establishing their character is really the best thing you can do. And if you did good casting, you're going to have some good performances. So if in the past, some actors have come up with their own ideas that they wanted to do with the script, when we were in the middle of production. And, sometimes, there really wasn't a lot of time to do that. I really wanted to stick with the script. But, I think it's great to kind of, if you have time to shoot things both ways, let the actor do what they think is best. If you really care about the performance of your film from your actors, you really want them to input into the script and let that script become theirs. And it's a collaborative art, so it's not really just your film, it's everyone's film. So if you want to be a good director, try to let your actors have time to do what they want. If there's ever a time when an actor's having trouble getting the line down, I like to kind of change the dialogue that's going to fit them the best. I'd rather not spend all the time trying to figure out a way to make them say the line exactly how I want it, and it really will help their performance a lot. And I always think that if you have great acting in an okay script, I think the great acting will make your okay script seem really good. So acting has, I think, more power in a film than the actual script. But that's just my opinion. When there's a dialogue sequence between two actors, it's kind of hard to figure out who's going to go first if you only have one camera. You have a bunch of over-the-shoulder shots to shoot, or you want to shoot, with a one medium shot of your actor A first over actor B. But who goes first, And to me, I always kind of want the better actor to go first. If I have a professional actor or someone who has more experience, who's been doing it for several years compared to someone who just started, a month ago, I want to let the person who has more experience to go first, because what that will do is it'll, set the tone for the entire scene, and when the person with the less experience goes second, they'll already have a feel for the scene, and they'll, definitely the level of acting should definitely go up a few notches. And I think it's always better to let the more experienced actor go first to set the mood, definitely. So let's say if you have amateur actors. The thing about amateur actors, maybe it's just your brother or sister or just a friend who wants to be cool on camera. The thing is, they're not exactly going to be natural. They might not understand how to become that character in your script and be natural. So that's, in my experience, that's always been a rough thing to do in my film. So if you don't have access to experienced actors, you can, what I suggest for you is to write the character in your film to be that person who's acting in your film. So that way, they can just be themselves, and just make sure they know ahead of time, hey, I'm writing this character and I just want you to be yourself. And that's how you can get a natural performance from an amateur actor. So here's a very important tip. Make sure your actors know what to expect before the day of the shoot. Make sure they know what they have to wear. Make sure they know what they have to bring, the timing and everything. You don't want to spend the entire day of the shoot before, a few hours before, text them all that information, because you're probably running around trying to gather all your equipment, making sure everything's charged up, your cards are empty, and it's going to take a lot of time. And your actors will definitely value you more as a director if they know what to expect ahead of time, and it's definitely a lot more professional. So make sure that they know what to expect ahead of time, and if you're shooting an action sequence or whatever sort of genre you're going for that day, make sure they know, it might be a little bit rough, they might get a little bit dirty. Definitely good to expect, so they can bring the necessary, components with them. Lastly, and my favorite, always be grateful. Even if you're paying your actors and crew to be on set with you, still be grateful. These are people that are making your vision come alive, and it's just very important to you that they feel special to you, and they should. They're making something you thought of in your head come a reality. So always be grateful, and they're going to want to be on set, and they're going to want to continue to do more with you. So that's all I got for today. If you guys disagree or agree, I would love to know why. And if you have your own tips, also, leave a comment down below. And, definitely more of these to come. I want to do some interviews with some actors and other directors, kind of understand their vision and style. And, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.